Okay, so moving on to the next exercise, stretches. What we're going to do now is something for the glute and lower back area and something for calves. Now, your glute and lower back area is probably an area most people neglect when stretching, but it really needs to be stretched like every other muscle group. So a quick and easy one that I always use for the glute and lower back area, if you lie flat on your back, like so, and then what you're going to do from the hips, swivel the bottom part of your body over, keeping your shoulders on the ground, and then the leg that's on top, you're going to bend the knee and pull that up with your arm as far as you can. Now, sometimes it's difficult to keep both shoulders on the ground like so. If you can't quite do that, that's fine. Just keep the shoulder on this left side here as far down as you can. You need ideally to have both shoulders on the ground. And when you're pulling this up with your knee, with your hand, you pull it up as far as you can feel a stretch across your glute, which is your bum basically, and your lower back. As I said before, you get an uncomfortable tightness in the pull, and that's where you should hold it. And gradually over time, you will increase that pull, but never increase it too soon to the point where you're getting pain, as I keep saying. Pain is not good in any shape or form. So you want an uncomfortable tightness when you pull, and hold it there. So I could probably pull mine up right up to there and still get a good stretch. When I initially started, I couldn't keep this shoulder flat and I was struggling sort of get past there type of thing. But now it's quite comfortable for me to go up to there and hold for anywhere between 30 and 60 seconds. Then you just go back down, as I say, ease out of every stretch. Don't just go out at a pace because you will injure yourself. And then all you do from there is go back to the lying supine position, roll the bottom part from the hips over, keep this shoulder down, pull the leg up there with your hand and feel the stretch across this area here and the lower back area. And then you just hold that for 30 to 60 seconds. Very good stretch, especially for beginners and the early stages of stretching. That's one that you'll find you'll progress quite comfortably. So that's the one I use mostly for the glute and lower back area. As I've said before, there's lots and lots and lots of different stretches you can do, but I'm showing you the ones that I would use on a regular basis that have benefited me, and now I'm trying to move on and find other ways, advanced ways of stretching. But in the initial stages, you just need to be having a go at the ones that I'm doing. I find them the ones that, I wouldn't say the easiest, but the ones you can progress more quickly on and get to a really good level of pliability in your muscles. They do say, apparently science has proven, the more you stretch a muscle, the more you can contract it. So when you're trying to build a bit of muscle tone or build a sizable amount of muscle, the more you're able to stretch a muscle, the more you can contract it. So if there's any truth in that, which I believe there is, then if you're looking to get muscle tone or muscle size, then you need to be stretching. Just to reiterate, I've heard and I couldn't find any science to say that stretching before you exercise has any benefit. Some science says that it can actually, if you stretch directly before a weight workout, it can make you weaker. So just bear that in mind. Your muscles must be fully warmed up before you stretch. So it's a good idea to stretch after your workouts. Occasionally I've stretched in between sets when I'm weight training. I don't do that on a regular basis. If I feel a bit tight, I'll do it, but generally just on, I do it on cardio days, occasionally after weight workouts, but not all the time. But I have a real good, anywhere between sort of 20 and 60 minutes stretching after cardio. I find it really sort of therapeutic as well. Give these a try. Let me know your thoughts. I'll just move on now and show you calf stretching next, and then after that I want to move on to upper body stretches. So now we're going to move on to a little bit of calf stretching. Now initially I would suggest you do these with just body weight. As I said with the calf exercise in past videos, you can do it on the stairs, or I've got just a step box. But I've also got a calf training machine where I can use weights as you get more advanced. But what you're looking to do is basically, if you were using say a step box or some kind of box that you could do in the house or on the stairs, you just want the balls of your feet onto the box or onto the stair. Hold something to just stabilise you, to keep you still, and then you're just basically dropping your heels down till you feel a real tight stretch in the calf, and then you hold that for, as I say, 30 to 60 seconds. I think normally 60 seconds is enough for me. If I need to hold it longer than that, I would probably look at putting more resistance on whichever stretch it was, or looking at more advanced stretches. Now this, when you hold this, you can do it with just one leg like so and drop the heel, or you can do it with both, drop the heel. But basically you've got to feel that stretch. If you're not feeling the stretch, you're not quite doing something right. So from there you just drop the heel down as far as it'll go. Initially you might not go far, because notoriously calves are known to be tight. It's something I have massaged regularly because they can get really tight on you. So when you first start that, if it's too painful trying to drop your heel too far down, then don't. Go as far as you can, as I say, with each stretch till you feel an uncomfortable tightness. Don't go to the point of hurting. It's not good for you. There's no benefits at all. So drop the heel down. So all you want is the ball of your feet on there. Drop your heel down and stretch. Hold it 30 to 60 seconds. Then I normally take a break, and then I will go back, say after a minute or so, and do it again. And I'll do 2 or 3 times. But as I said earlier in the video, I'll very often superset them. I'll do, I'll lie down, like for what I've just done, I'd do a bum and lower back one, and then go straight to a calf one, and just superset them that way. You can mix and match a bit. So that's the calf one I wanted to show you. Very basic, very simple, but very effective. So if you try that, let me know your thoughts. You may, as I say, find that your calves are really tight at first. Don't worry about that. With time, stretching becomes much more, your muscles become much more pliable, and you can stretch a lot easier. So give it a try. Hi everyone, Dave here, Fit and Healthy Forever. This is part 2 of the stretching video I wanted to do. As I said in part 1, it's if I did the whole one together it'd be quite long, so I've split it into 2. First one was lower body, this one is upper body, and there's not as much involvement in this one. What I wanted to show you is most upper body stretches are going to involve your shoulders. Now there's something I want to show you now that is a really good stretch for the shoulders, and it also decompresses your lower back. So this is from a physical therapy treatment centre in America that I follow. Just a little bit of background: your shoulder is a ball and socket, so it can move around and that way and all ways. Okay, whereas your elbow, for instance, is a hinge, so it can only do that. And same with the knee, it's a hinge, it can only do that. Now this can be used as an old school remedy for chronically bad shoulders or scapula. Now it may not be that it cures everyone, but it certainly did me a hell of a lot of good, I can guarantee you. It certainly set me well on the road. When I go into tips, I'm going to do another video on tips for certain exercises and body parts. I'll show you another one for shoulders that has really helped me a lot, but this one did particularly. So when raising your shoulders up like so, and you go all the way to the top, if you get any sort of pain or crunching or popping or whatever it might be, then this may be something you want to try. Now when you do that with your arms, your shoulder blade at the back comes down and out. It has to be able to move like so. Okay, if it can't, if it's restricted in some way, you're going to get pain or impingement or stiffness. So you raise your arms overhead, you need to have the freedom to rotate up, out and up, as I just said. So when you've done this, you'll get what's known as impingement if it's hurting. The remedy for this is called relaxed hanging. Now you do this from a bar. You may not be able to fully hang freely at first, but eventually you may need to support your body first, but eventually you will. I started off doing this, and it's also good for grip strength. I was doing 10-15 seconds at first, and then I progressed it from there. So what you do is you grip the bar overhead with your feet supported at first on the floor or on a box or on something, because when you first do it, you'll feel it sort of pulling your shoulders down, and it's really uncomfortable at first, but bear with me because it does get easier and better. So when you gradually build up to fully relaxed hanging, you'll be increasing it up to, I do up to a minute, and I'll do it 3 times, once or twice a week, and it's fantastic for your shoulders. Believe me, try it. This will eventually encourage your scapula to spread and create some sort of space so that it can move freely. So what it's doing is there's tightness in the ball and socket when your shoulder blade comes out and round like so, which is what's happening when you do this. So you need to release that and give it more space inside the ball and socket. If you have really bad shoulders, I would do it up to 5 minutes a day. This is what these physiotherapists are recommending. Do it up to 5 minutes a day. That's a lot for me, but I've never had chronically bad shoulders, so I don't know if that's beneficial or not. I will do it 3 times a week for perhaps a total of 3 minutes. So I'll do hang for a minute, then I'll ease out of it, and then I'll wait a minute or so, and then I'll do it again. As I've said, with any stretch, when you ease out of it is when I've found that you're most vulnerable to injury. So what we do is, I'm using straps here simply because my grip isn't the best, but I'm working on that. This helps with grip strength as well. So over time, this will help with your grip strength. But for now, I could probably hold 30 or 40 seconds without the straps. If I want to go the full minute, I would need the straps on. So what we do, about shoulder width apart, we take a grip on the bar, and at first, when you're not sure how far you can go, put your feet on the floor or on a box or something, and just gently take the weight off your feet so that you feel the pull in your shoulders and arms. Now, you've got to go into this gently, because if you suddenly hang, you're going to tear, pull or injure yourself in some way if you're not careful. So what you do is, over a period of time, you just keep putting less and less support on the floor with your feet, to the point where you can suddenly go like that and relax into it. That's why it's called relaxed hanging. So you relax into this, and you'll feel an enormous pull in your shoulders, and you'll feel a decompression in your lower back. It's fantastic for lower back decompression. But also, if you can hold that for, I started off with 10 or 15 seconds, and I've built up now to a minute quite easily. Without straps, I can go 40 seconds. If you're doing it 3 times, I'd suggest, if you've got them, to get straps. If you feel when you get in 20-30 seconds it's too much, drop your feet gently on the floor and take a little bit of the weight off your body, so that you're starting as if you just started again from the beginning of the stretch. Now, ease out of it. As I said, if you suddenly just come out of that and drop down, you'll hurt yourself. So you need to ease out of it very, very gently. Try it, because I can't explain how beneficial this was for me. You'd have to try it for yourself and see. But the shoulder stretch and the decompression in your lower back is amazing. It really is. And I use that more or less as almost a lower back stretch, because the decompression eases your back so much. It takes away any tightness in your back that I don't feel that I need to be doing at this point in time any other lower back stretches. So that one's the first one I wanted to show you. Now if I just take the straps off a second, the other stretches I would do for upper body, if you want to stretch the tricep area, which is there, take your arm overhead like so, hold your elbow, get your upper arm perpendicular and just gently pull across. So your hand is going down your back to the other side of your shoulders. So you just pull and hold that. Again, you'll feel the stretch. Hold it. Again, 30 to 60 seconds. Gently ease out. Go to the other side. So you go there, so you've got the other hand there on the back of that shoulder. This upper arm perpendicular, and then you want to just gently pull across and feel the stretch in the triceps area. Now the next one I will normally do for shoulders, this is the back and side of the shoulders, is if you take your arm in front of you, get your wrist behind the elbow, just above the elbow, and gently pull across like so. Now that will stretch the whole back and side of the shoulder. So that bit there and right at the back. And again hold, ease out, and then do the same the other side there. Now that will, again, it's a beginner's type of stretching. There'll be more advanced ones you could do, but for now that will suffice. It will get you going. Okay. What I also do for the chest area, you want to be holding onto some sort of post, or you could use a wardrobe or a door frame, anything. So what you're doing is you're holding your hand on there, and then you gently turn away from it, put your foot forward and pull your body around. So you feel the stretch there in the chest. Okay? So you're pulling there and you're holding that. If you do any of these stretches and you're not feeling the stretch where you should do, there's something not quite right. So again, you're standing straight, holding on to something, arms virtually at length. Take a step forward. If you're doing your right arm, take a step forward with your right foot, twist your body round until you feel the pull, the stretch there, the uncomfortable tightness. And then you hold that, and you can go further and further and further round by pushing this back and this forward, and hold that stretch. And then you swap over and do the other side. Now for the lats, or latissimus dorsi as they call down the side there, now with those you can do one arm at a time or both arms. And what I would normally do is I would get hold of a post, or again a door frame or anything like that, and then from there bend your knees and gently sort of sit back into it, and you'll feel the pull down that side of the lat. And again hold 30 to 60 seconds. Ease out and go to the other side. So we're about arm's length away from where you're holding onto a post, and you just bend your knees and sit into it. You can also do this by doing both arms like so and feel the stretch. Again, if you're not feeling the stretch, something's not quite right. Also, when you're doing the hang there on the bar, you will feel that in the lats, but I feel it more in the shoulders and lower back than I do in the lats. But it will give you the whole of your back a bit of a stretch. I just tend to feel it more. And since I watched this physical therapy video on YouTube, he was saying it's a very old school remedy for chronically ill shoulders, bad shoulders. So if you've got any sort of tightness, impingement, sometimes when you're doing a lateral raise, people get to there and they feel the impingement. You need to be doing relaxed hanging. At least give it a try before you try anything else, because over time that has given me such relief. I didn't have bad shoulders, but one shoulder, this left one, was always tighter than the other one, and I could do a lateral raise and I could go right the way up to there initially with this arm. I'd get to there and I could feel a little bit of uncomfortable pain. So over time I've got to the point where I can do them with both arms and
hardly anything at all from this left one now. It's not completely healed, don't get me wrong. It's not 100%, but it's probably 90% better than it was. So you just have to let it regenerate over time. But stretching is a massive, massive help. And I don't think, I'm guilty of this as well, I don't think people do enough stretching, because you have to be able to stretch a muscle to contract it more. If you can't contract it, you're not going to stimulate the fibers and you're not going to build muscle. You watch a lot of bodybuilders these days, and they're all, even the big guys, they're using stretching techniques all the time. They're using massage techniques to loosen the fibers, get the lesions and knots out, which you can get over time with training. So you need to be looking at this, because it's not just about walking into a gym, lifting weights or squatting or deadlifting or whatever. You need to be looking at other aspects to try and help you to move forward with your training. So these are ways. Stretching for me now is a weekly routine. I always stretch on Tuesdays and Thursdays after cardio. Tuesday, Saturday. On Thursdays I do abs. So these are what I started off with. Some of them I still use, but these are what I started with when I first started stretching. I've gradually progressed each one up to a minute. My personal view, when you get to a minute of stretching, you need to be looking at making it a little bit more advanced or a bit more forward, shall we say, than the basics. So that's what I'm looking to do now with some stretching. So there may be some more stretching coming later when I've found more advanced techniques that I'm comfortable with. I'll be looking to bring those to you at some point in the future. But this will give you a good start. Please try the relaxed hanging, because I've had the most benefit from that than any other stretch I've ever done. And I use it religiously every week now. But there are other techniques for shoulders that I will show you for rotator cuff and shoulder injuries and impingements in a further video in the future. So as always, stay fit and healthy forever, and I hope this helps a lot. Thank you.